This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
It's 6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The morning news edited by Danushka Madhavala, read by Soundi Thavam. The President says the government will strengthen the economy while creating employment opportunities for the youth. Applications for recorrection of exam papers of the GCE Advanced Level Examination will be accepted from today. The debate on the no-confidence motion against the Health Minister will be conducted for the second day today. The government plans to increase the foreign remittances to $7,000 million annually. Sri Lanka gears up for the API Asia Conference 2023 to fuel digital transformation and innovation. In foreign news, scientists grow whole model of human embryo without sperm or egg. In sports, Sri Lanka women complete historic T20 series victory against England. President Ranil Wickremesinghe outlined an ambitious vision for Sri Lanka's economic future during his address at the centenary celebration of the Al Mubarak Central College in Malvana. He emphasized the replication of the Biagama Free Trade Zone's success as a blueprint for modern commercial industrialization to be implemented nationwide. This strategy aims to propel the country towards rapid development within the next 15 to 20 years. President Wickremesinghe noted the significant progress made in the Biagama region since the establishment of the trade zone and highlighted the nation's potential to becoming a thriving investment hub. He unveiled plans to open up several new investment opportunities on a global scale, paving the way for Sri Lanka to emerge as a prominent investment destination. The President's comments were delivered during the centenary celebration ceremony, where he also revealed that several areas, including Bingiria, Hambantota, Kandy, Trincomalee and the Northern Province, have been earmarked for the establishment of industrial estates. These areas are set to undergo rapid development, transforming into vibrant commercial sites. Furthermore, President Wickremesinghe stressed the commitment of local representatives to attract investment opportunities for the advancement of their respective districts. He cited the example of the Biagama Investment Zone, which was evolved into the premier trade zone in South Asia. President Wickremesinghe asserted that replicating the success of industrialization seen in Biagama and Katunayaka across all provinces is crucial for alleviating economic pressures. President Wickremesinghe also highlighted the government's dedication to strengthening the country's economy while simultaneously creating employment opportunities for the nation's youth. The Department of Examinations said that applications for recorrection of exam papers of the GCE Advanced Level Examination will be accepted from today. The applications should be forwarded online until the 16th of this month. School and private candidates should forward their re-scrutiny applications by themselves. Applications are available at www.doenets.lk or www.onlineexams.gov.lk websites. Repeating, www.doenets.lk or www.onlineexams.gov.lk websites. The three-day parliamentary debate on the no-confidence motion against Health Minister Kelly Rambakwalla will be conducted today as well. The first day's debate was held yesterday, and it will be held from 9:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. today as well. The debate will be held from 10:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. tomorrow. A vote on the no-confidence motion will be held at 5:30 p.m. tomorrow. State Minister for Foreign Employment Promotion, Jagat Pushpakumara, has announced the development of a comprehensive national foreign employment policy in a significant move towards ensuring the safety and well-being of the Sri Lankan migrant workers and enhancing economic prosperity. The policy has been submitted for approval to the Cabinet of Ministers, marking a milestone in Sri Lanka's commitment to its overseas workforce. Speaking at a press conference held at the Presidential Media Centre, Under the theme Collective Path to a Stable Country, State Minister Jagat Pushpakumara outlined the pivotal achievements of his ministry within a year and its ambitious goals for the future. The development of a national foreign employment policy supported by experts is a key highlight of the ministry's achievements. This policy aims to safeguard the rights and security of the Sri Lankan expatriate workers and has been submitted for cabinet approval, reflecting the government's commitment to their welfare. In terms of remittances, State Minister Pushpakumara expressed optimism about reaching the target of $7,000 million annually as set by President Ranil Wickremesinghe in 2022. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Federation of Information Technology Sri Lanka is all set to host the eagerly awaited API Asia Conference 2023 for the second time, with this year's event scheduled to take place on November 16th in Colombo. The event was officially launched yesterday at the Presidential Media Centre under the patronage of the State Minister of Technology, Mr. Kanaka Herath, accompanied by several distinguished government and industry officials. While addressing the launching ceremony, the State Minister emphasised the vital role that this year's conference would play in advancing Sri Lanka's digital economy. The conference will focus on three critical pillars: artificial intelligence, smart cities and financial technology, which are essential components of the digital ecosystem. One of the central initiatives highlighted by the State Minister is the DigiEcon Sri Lanka 2030 programme, launched under the leadership of President Ranil Wickremesinghe. The API Asia Conference 2023 is expected to attract over 500 professionals, including industry and business leaders, as well as technology experts. Under the theme, Fueling the Digital Economy, the conference will feature esteemed global speakers from the Asia-Pacific region who will share insights on how organizations can thrive in an increasingly competitive market through digital transformation. The University Grants Commission is now calling applications for university admission for the 2022-2023 academic year from September 14th, based on the results of the students who passed the GCE Advanced Level Examination held last year, 2022. Accordingly, about 45,000 students will be selected to the national universities this year. Meanwhile, several universities and faculties have taken steps to introduce 12 new degree courses this year, and 20 new departments have been started. The University Grants Commission Chairman, Professor Sampath Amaratunga, told a special media briefing yesterday at the Government Information Department auditorium that the UGC has issued course books to the reputed book shops. That concludes local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
State Minister Geeta Kumarasinghe said that women and children are mostly used for illicit trade activities. The time has arisen to stop this menace. The State Minister also said a discussion in this regard will be held with the police, local government bodies and the National Child Protection Authority. This information was revealed when the Advisory Committee on Women and Child Affairs and the Social Empowerment was held at the Parliamentary Complex under the chairmanship of State Ministers Sita Arembapola and Anupa Paskal. That came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Moving on to Watchlight, the health officials warn that several diseases are rapidly spreading among children with the prevailing weather conditions in the island. Dr. Deepal Pereira, a specialist doctor at the Lady Ridgeway Children's Hospital in Colombo, states that conditions can occur in children within these rainy days. Therefore, Dr. Pereira also recommended that children should be provided with more care during this period. Furthermore, the specialist doctor claimed that diseases like diarrhea can also spread amongst children. That came to you in Watchlight. We take a look at world news next.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
It's the power to live life your way. The power to be a trendsetter. Power to you with digital banking from Commercial Bank. Commercial Bank. Our interest is in you.
Making headlines this morning, scientists grow whole model of human embryo without sperm or egg. Hunt for terror suspect ex-soldier Daniel Khalif after Wandsworth prison escape. Dead Sea reveals 4 1,900-year-old Roman swords in cave. Scientists have grown an entity that closely resembles an early human embryo without using sperm or eggs or a womb. The Weizmann Institute team say their embryo model, made using stem cells, looks like a textbook example of a real 14-day-old embryo. It even released hormones that turned a pregnancy test positive in the lab. The ambition for embryo models is to provide an ethical way of understanding the earliest moments of our lives. The first weeks after a sperm fertilizes an egg is a period of dramatic change from a collection of indistinct cells to something that eventually becomes recognizable on a baby scan. This crucial time is a major source of miscarriage and birth defects, but poorly understood. A nationwide manhunt has been launched for a former soldier suspected of terror offences who escaped from prison on Wednesday morning. Daniel Abed Khalif, 21, was awaiting trial at HMP Wandsworth in London after being accused of leaving fake bombs at a military base. It is believed he escaped via a prison kitchen by strapping himself to the underside of a food delivery van. Extra security checks at airports and ports have led to long delays. The prison service is working with the Metropolitan Police to urgently investigate how Khalif escaped. A cache of 4 excellently preserved Roman swords have been discovered by Israeli researchers in a cave overlooking the Dead Sea. 3 of the 1,900-year-old weapons, whose iron blades are 60 to 65 centimeters long, were still in wooden scabbards. They were found in a near inaccessible crevice by a team photographing an ancient inscription on a stalactite. Archaeologists believe the swords were hidden by Judean rebels after they were seized from the Roman army as booty. Back to the headlines of the world news. Scientists grow whole model of human embryo without sperm or egg. Hunt for terror suspect ex-soldier Daniel Khalif after Wandsworth prison escape. And Dead Sea reveals 4 1,900-year-old Roman swords in cave. That concludes this bulletin of world news.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
This message is for all the kids between the ages of 4 and 16 who love to draw. Commercial Bank's Arunalu Sittam is back once again. This time, the competition is also open to Sri Lankan kids currently living abroad. First, second and third place prizes will be awarded along with special merit and merit certificates. For more information, visit the Commercial Bank website. We have so many prizes to be won.
Development News is brought to you by
Job opportunities for well-experienced housemaids and home cooks in Saudi Arabia and Kuwait for ages 40 to 58 years. Salary 125,000 rupees. Contact 037 7500 500.
In a bid to mainly promote local SME products to the state of Victoria in Australia, the Sri Lanka and Australia Chamber of Commerce organised a visit of an 11-member high-profile Australian trade delegation to Sri Lanka. The team, currently in Sri Lanka until September 10th, will be closely looking at organic food and local fabrics that could be exported to the Australian market. The Australian trade delegation also includes representatives including notable figures from the Aboriginal Economic Development Group, the Victoria State Government and other prominent business entities. The delegation leader, Sarah Stewart, director of the Aboriginal Economic Development Group, said that they will also look at investment and trade opportunities in the ICT, renewable energy, boat building and pharmaceutical sectors. And came to you in Development News.
Job opportunities for women from Deshakti Lanka in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait and Oman. Housemaids and home cooks in Saudi Arabia, ages 40 to 58 years. Arabic speaking and well-experienced home cooks. Salary 125,000 rupees. Interviews are now on with foreign agents. You can travel overseas free of charge now. Branches Colombo, Kurunegala, Anuradhapura and Matara. Contact number 0377 500 500. Deshakti Lanka Foreign Employment Agency.
On to sports news, England suffered a shock first-ever series defeat by Sri Lanka as the tourists won the third T20 by 7 wickets at Derby. England were bowled out for 116 in 19 overs after another impressive Sri Lankan performance in the field. Chamari Atapattu top-scored with 44 from 28 deliveries as Sri Lanka reached their target with 3 overs to spare. It is only Sri Lanka's second series victory from their last 15 bilateral series. Atapattu was dismissed by Alice Capse with 52 runs still required, but Hashita Samaravikrama and Hasini Pereira played sensibly to withstand England's economical bowling to complete the chase. It is England's second successive batting collapse after their 104 all-out in the second T20 at Chelmsford, with Heather Knight's side looking fatigued and short of answers to Sri Lanka's spinners. They started poorly again and failed to recover as Danny White was caught at cover from the first ball of the game before Capsey was calamitously run out in the second over a mix-up with Maya Boucher, who went on to top score with 23. Sri Lanka's players were visibly emotional, running onto the pitch and embracing the batting pair as the winning runs were struck. Meanwhile, England will look to fight back in the three-match one-day international series, which starts in Durham on Saturday. That's sports news, business news up next.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
A World Bank-funded roadmap for offshore wind development in Sri Lanka expects to foster regional cooperation by pushing offshore wind energy as a larger part of the country's electricity generation mix. The report also looks to justify the large infrastructure costs associated with grid improvements and push the country to have a large decarbonization target. The report also promises that the country will be able to export energy into the Indian subcontinent. The report was discussed on August 25th at a virtual gathering of officials from the Power and Energy Ministry, Ceylon Electricity Board, World Bank, Sustainable Energy Authority and other foreign diplomats. Power and Energy Minister Kanchana Wijesekara said that the government is not just looking for financing, but rather looking for technological know-how and transfer in selecting partnerships. That's business news, economic news up next.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
On to economic news, oil prices ticked up in early Asian trade after rising over to 1% in the previous session as markets worried about a supply shortage after Saudi Arabia and Russia extended their voluntary supply cuts to the end of the year. Brent crude futures rose by 14 cents to $90.18 a barrel earlier on. US West Texas Intermediate crude futures gained 12 cents at $86.81 a barrel. Investors had expected Saudi Arabia and Russia to extend voluntary cuts into October, but the 3-month extension was unexpected. And that's economic news.
Weather report.
Showers or thundershowers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragamuwa and northwestern provinces and in the Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Matara districts. Fairly heavy showers, about 50 millimeters, are likely at some places in the western and Sabaragamuwa provinces and in the Puttalam, Galle and Matara districts. A few showers may occur in Mena and the Hambantota districts and in the north-central province. Fairly strong winds, about 40 to 45 kilometers per hour, can be expected at times in the western slopes of the Central Hills, northern, north-central and northwestern provinces and in the Trincomalee and Hambantota districts. To conclude this bulletin of news, a recap of the headlines. The President says the government will strengthen the economy while creating employment opportunities for the youth. Applications for re-correction of exam papers of the GCE Advanced Level Examination will be accepted from today. The debate on the no-confidence motion against Health Minister will be conducted for the second day today. The government plans to increase the foreign remittances to $7,000 million annually. Sri Lanka gears up for the API Asia Conference 2023 to fuel digital transformation and innovation. Scientists grow whole model of human embryo without sperm or egg. And Sri Lanka women complete historic T20 series victory against England. On that note, we conclude this morning's news broadcast.